Hey guys, welcome to the Flashback Hut event in NHL 19 for the month of February. This video is going to provide you with all the information that you need so that you're not missing out on any of the events in the event. In the event of emergency, please dial 911 and hopefully you're in America and that works for you. If not, then dial whatever your emergency number is. Otherwise, sorry, can't help. But back to NHL 19. So this is kind of part of the event, not really, but it didn't deserve its own video. This is the NHL 19 patch 1.5 that came out January 31st. Here are all the details. You can now multi-select in the collection. They fixed a goalie mask, a display issued, they added new jerseys, and they added Elias Pettersson's 3D likeness to the game. So now it actually looks like him. That's all. There's nothing else hiding anywhere around this post. So yeah, I told you we would make it quick. In Hockey Ultimate Team, you log on and you'll see this Flashback February event. Come back every day next week for new Flashback player items. So every day that's not a weekend, and for some reason on February 8th, it's 2 on the same day, they'll be releasing new Flashback cards of probably old-time legends. And those cards' ratings and synergies will be based on that player on the team that they played for. Let's take a look at Roenick's career through the cards that were released. On the far left are his Blackhawks days, 89 overall. That's when he was putting up the big boy numbers. He was a point per game player for 4 out of the 6 seasons that he was with the Blackhawks. After that, he was traded to the Coyotes, where he was more of a defensive player. He was getting a lot of hits, and at the same time, his point totals took a hit as well. He was still doing well, but just contributing to the team a little bit differently. So they kept him as an 89 overall, but gave him different synergies, more defensive synergies. On the tail end of his career, he was traded to the Flyers with the blockbuster trade that involved Eric Lindros. While he was doing fairly well, he was plagued by injury issues, which probably affected his performance a bit. He still put up respectable numbers, 67 in 75 games, 59 in 79, and 47 in 62. So that's where the 88 overall Jeremy Roenick comes into play. After that, he was traded to the Kings, didn't do very well at all, so that's an 84 Jeremy Roenick. And then finally, with the Sharks, he's an 87 overall. There, he was remembered as more of a veteran presence in the locker room, more of a leader than a player. So that is that. The EA devs confirmed that these cards will be available throughout the whole event, so not just on the day that they're released. Jeremy Roenick will be available in packs for the next week and a half or so. Next part of the event, Jordan 2266 overall cards. I would treat them more as a collectible, but if you want to use them in game, fine. See what happens when you treat your lowest overall player as a god. Anyway, if you get 4 of them, you can convert them into an 89 overall Jordan 22 of your choice on whatever team that he's played on. They have the same stats, same synergies, so it doesn't make a huge difference which one you grab. Let's take a look at his stats. For an 89 overall, his stats aren't great. He's a short 5'9" player meant to agitate your opponent. Is it going to be enough to lay out some big hits on the biggest players in the game? I don't know. Guess we'll have to find out. But yeah, their stats, they're not pretty. So what else is going on? We got these diamond cards. They added a lot more, and they're going to be available until March 1st. They can be pretty expensive cards because they're bolstered versions of lower overall cards whose stats weren't exactly balanced. So a lot of these guys will have amazing skating and a pretty decent shot to go with it. They should be pretty expensive, so keep an eye out for them. Up next, you guys like free cards? Well, here are a couple of free cards. Jason Spezza and PK Subban, 89 overalls, just for completing 10 out of the 17 challenges, I believe. By turning in 5 challenge collectibles, you get to choose one of them. If we go to the challenge, you'll see this new graphic. There's a Pavel Bure in there. Could be one of the upcoming Flashback cards that they release, which is going to be pretty cool. So there's only one daily challenge, as you see here, except this one lasts 3 days. Okay, turns out weekends don't count. They won't reset them on the weekends. I think that'll mean you need 10 out of 11 or 12 collectibles then, if you want to get both. Yeah, these challenges, you got to get 3 stars if you want to get that collectible. For 2 stars, you get a monthly collectible, which is nice too. So they talked about how February, since it's the shortest month, they want to add more monthly collectibles that you guys can get, so you guys can get the monthly legend without having to log in 3 times a day. So here's another way of getting those collectibles. We'll talk more about that in just a second. Right now, this daily challenge is on Pro, but other ones could be on a higher difficulty. I don't know. We'll see in the future. So now an in-depth look at the 2 cards that you guys are going to be getting, starting with Jason Spezza. His stats aren't all that great. He's only got skating stats that are higher than his overall stat. So yeah, I wouldn't go too crazy over this card. He's not going to play like an 89 overall, probably more like an 87 overall. Subban's story, not that much better. He's got more stats over 89 overall. Curious to know how much more stats? Exactly one more stat over 89 overall. That's defensive awareness at 90. But yeah, not too great. He does have good synergies though, so I guess that kind of makes up for it. I think for people who are still using gold base cards or maybe just above gold base cards, these guys could be good additions to your team. Everyone else, I probably wouldn't lose some sleep over it. So let's talk again about the monthly legends. Let's continue that conversation. There was an issue that they had with January daily logins for, I think, like the last day or two. So they're going to be extending that, I think, for another 24 hours. Probably less than that at the time of this video. But if you're a few collectibles off, maybe now you can get it. February monthly legend is Peter Stastny. 95 overall, still requires 80 collectibles. There is the February collectibles reroll set at the very end and the January rerolls collectibles set in the middle. Make sure you use the right one so you're not converting 3 January collectibles into, well, 1 January collectible. This Peter Stastny card looks like an animal. Another center. Want. But maxed out skating, decent shot, a little under his overall, that's fine. But great offensive awareness, puck control, deking, and hand-eye. He'll be great in the offensive zone. He's got call the shot synergy, so his shooting stats will get a boost. Overall, a solid card. So what do you guys think of the Flashback event and this monthly legend? Will you guys be going for any of them? Do those challenge rewards seem a little bit too weak? Let me know what you think, and maybe EA will make some changes for the next event.